This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast, where we challenge you to be healthy. My name is Jason Schroeder, and today's podcast is about your health and about reducing what I call cognitive decline. Quote, "Your body is a Ferrari, not a Pinto." This is the one thing in one of Paul Akers' chapters in the book. The bottom line is, what would you put into a Ferrari? If you took the time to purchase such a beautiful, remarkable, built with quality vehicle as a Ferrari, what kind of gas would you put into it? How would you maintain it? How would you take care of it? And then conversely, how would you take care of a Pinto? Would you matter what kind of gas you put into it? How would you maintain it? What is the comparison there? And if we realize that our bodies are like Ferraris, how would we take care of them? So that's the one thing, and that's the quote for today. So here's a little story for you, or a little prompting, is that the other day I was walking with a field engineer through a highly complex building, and this kid is just doing a great job. He is after it. He's well educated. He's got drive. He's got vigor. He is tenacious. He drives quality. He drives follow-up. He keeps the trade partners accountable, and he's just really outperforming and doing a great, great, great job. And he looked over at me and he was like, "Jason, I've gained a little bit of weight. I don't feel as well as I usually do. Do you have any recommendations for health?" And the silly thing with me is that I've read these things and learned these things and been shown a lot of these things, but I don't think about it and I don't think to share until somebody asks me. And that's one of my biggest blind spots, because at the moment I was like, oh my gosh, I have. It's called Lean Health. It's a book by Paul Akers, and it's absolutely fantastic. And it's the only book, the only diet, the only thing that has been able to be easy enough, implementable enough in my life to make any kind of a difference. And it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, Katie and I and a number of other family members, we've probably researched hundreds of different plans and diets and techniques and things like that to no avail. But his lean health method has been a game changer for us. And so I recommended it to him, and he's halfway through it. And I asked him one day, I was like, "What is the main thing you're getting out of the book? Is it helpful?" And he said, "Well, the first thing I got is that my body is like a Ferrari and I need to treat it like that." And if that's all he ever learns from the book, great, but that's not all he'll get from the book. He will find, and you will too, an easy way, implementable ways to go take care of your health on a continual basis. And so that's my little intro, my little story. So why is this important to me? Why would I share this on a podcast? Why would I mention a book and go through a book and then give you the excerpt and the description that I'm about to give you? It's because I personally, my goal, and anybody that really, really knows me knows that this is seriously the goal, that this isn't made up, that this isn't about making money, this isn't about any of that. Anybody that really knows me knows that I want workers in construction respected. I want families protected. I want people to be able to take their next step. I remember a number of things in my life that have been just magical and wonderful. I remember an architect when I was very young teaching me how to calculate concrete instead of the old method that we used to use, just dividing it by a constant. He explained to me how to go do that, to make that calculation, and told me that one day I could become an architect or an engineer or a construction manager. He took that time with me, and it was great. I remember when Katie and I first moved to Arizona, my parents took some money from their retirement and helped us out to get furniture for our new place, and financially helped us out and got us set up to where we needed to be. I remember being able to first go to work at Hensel Phelps when I was just a finisher, and somebody giving me that job, a general superintendent, giving me a shot, which I otherwise wouldn't have had. Now I've lived, because of that early education, just a remarkable life, and I'm able to share. And I could just keep going on and on and on and on about people that have given me time, money, advice, circumstances, tips. all of these different things that have just done wonders for me, my wife, and my 11 children, and the people that I come in contact with. So why wouldn't I want to share that? Sorry for that little tangent there, but I just want to communicate that I'm asking people in construction to think. I'm asking them to train. I'm asking them to study. I'm asking them to read books. I'm asking them to implement, to have high energy. And our body is the vehicle through which our mind is working. Our body is the vehicle that our mind is driving. And we need to know that our body should be treated like a Ferrari and not a Pinto. Because if we are not doing that, then we are suffering from, again, what I call cognitive decline. It's when you don't have the energy, the mental fortitude, the alertness to go do this, to go do this study, to focus on the things that you need to focus on, and to become a remarkable and live a remarkable life. So let me summarize here for you the Paul Akers method. And really, what I'm trying to do is to entice you to say, wow, I have to go download that book. I'm going to go download the 2-Second Lean app today and get that book on audio for free and start listening to it while I'm driving. I need a change in my life. COVID-19 has put on a little bit extra pounds. I haven't been exercising as much. I want my mind back. I want my life back. I want my mood back. I want my good, joyful feelings back. I want the proper chemicals and endorphins and things flowing through my body again. I am going to go read that book again. So again, here's the bottom line. Paul says, if I was going to summarize my entire book in one word, it would be Ferrari. The secret to excellent health, the answer, is to treat your body like you would treat a Ferrari. A Ferrari is the archetype for a sports car, one of the most precise and highest performing machines ever made. It is exotic, fast, agile, and beautiful. If you take the same care of your body that you would a Ferrari, using only the best fuel and regularly taking it to the best mechanic for maintenance, your body will return to you 10 times what you put into it for the duration of your life. Follow this principle and you will make great strides in your own health. And so here are a couple of the things that you will learn. So I'm not going to give all of it to you. I'm going to, the best thing that I ever learned, especially with 11 kids, is leave them wanting more, right? I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm not going to give you everything, but I want you to hear some of the concepts and see how implementable this content is so that you'll go read that book and use it in your career in construction. So number one, for food and drink, this is what Paul Akers recommends, and he lives it. On the front of the book, he shows a before, during, and after picture along his journey, and Paul looks amazing. In fact, I did a podcast interview with him the other day. The guy absolutely looks amazing, healthy, sharp, in peak condition. So 80% of his diet is fruits and vegetables, and 20% is fish, chicken, cheese, nuts, and other types of protein. And here's what he says. When eating meat, I always look for fish first because I like it the most and I feel the best when eating it. And here is what he doesn't eat. I eat nothing white, no flour, potatoes, bread, or sugar. I avoid any processed foods, including breads, even if they are whole wheat. I want to eat things that come directly from the earth as much as possible, with a few exceptions, meaning cheese is sometimes eaten in moderation. I do not drink soda or consume artificial sweeteners, and I relentlessly avoid anything processed. So you'll remember back to another podcast that I did where we're taking care of workers' bodies, and I had Dr. Grennan on for an interview, and I've actually seen him, and when he does the orthopedic massage on somebody's hamstrings and starts to work on their range of motion, most of the time when he asks, hey, do you drink carbonated drinks? Do you drink soda? Do you drink these things? The answer is yes. And then he goes in and talks about how bad that is for us because it creates lactic acid, it cramps the muscles, and these workers aren't able to use their full range of motion and take care of their bodies and use their bodies, and then they're prone to injuries. So I just wanted to plus one that this is a common theme. Do not drink soda or consume artificial sweeteners. This is when it becomes simple. Hear what he talks about now. This is not unattainable. He says, all my cravings for sweets are satisfied with a delicious piece of fruit, and my favorite piece of fruit is an apple, but I eat all kinds of exotic fruits from around the world. I eat strawberries, I eat melons, things like that, things that will add value, and the value of the fruit far outweighs any negatives from the sugar. And Paul goes on to say in the book, these are his opinions, But the key is to get a system which is sustainable. And in a part of the book, he talks about, for me to eat 80% of greens, he does this, and I'm about to tell you. But when I said 80% is greens, fruits and vegetables, did you freak out a little bit like I did when I read it? Well, if you did, what we have to do is take that into an implementable system. So he recommends broccoli. And before I had ever read his book, Lean Health, I was like, I'm not going to eat greens and I hate salads and I'm not doing the kale thing. That's disgusting. That's like a form of torture or hell. But he said, go ahead. This is how you steam up or grill or bake broccoli and have enough of it and season it to where it's delicious. And you can have that as a sustainable meal constantly, in addition to the 20% fish, other proteins, things like that. And so I was like, I really like broccoli when it's cooked right. So my wife constantly gets me broccoli, and I'll mix in a little bit of garlic and I'll put in some olive oil in there. And I've got a system to where I put a little bit of water in there and I put it on 420 for about 12 minutes. Your oven's probably a lot different, but when it comes out, you're able to sprinkle a little bit of salt on there. And sometimes I even put mushrooms and onions in there, and I can just eat that broccoli directly out of the pan. It's so delicious. You have such a better feeling when you're done with it. It's better than eating anything else, and you're getting those greens daily, and then I might have a piece of chicken or fish or something like that. That was implementable. This is what Paul does throughout this entire book, is take something that's impossible and gross and disgusting and turns it into beauty. And the other thing that he says is the key to eating healthy is to be disgusted with unhealthy eating. And I've heard that before, but in a different setting. In fact, I once heard this story from somebody that was teaching youth about having appropriate thoughts and to see beauty for what it really is, whether it's in men or in women, to not objectify people. And so what he said that he did, and talked to people about, he and his wife did, is when they would see an inappropriate picture or something in life that he knew would, be bad or lead him into a bad direction, he said, our trick was to immediately imagine those people hungover, bad breath the next day, just having thrown up from having drank, riddled with diseases, like just in a bad mood, completely grumpy, negative people, just that disgusting image and environment. I would associate that with those pictures so that I would learn to appreciate true beauty in all of its different shapes and forms, and to not go to the lewd or to the disgusting or the gross images and have my mind attach itself to that. I would learn to hate those pictures and those images so that I could learn to love true beauty, all shapes and sizes, all different colors. Anybody on this earth, male or female, recognize that true beauty. And I thought, wow, that's the first time I've ever heard an implementable way to not look at pornography, not look at inappropriate pictures, not head my mind down a direction which is addictive and destructive for my life, my relationships, and anything else. Paul's advocating the same thing here. Instead of just looking at it, and I'm not saying make it to where it's like an unhealthy relationship with food, but I'm saying that we look at things like it's normal. All of these things have become normal. Bleaching flour, which in part turns it into rat poison or components of rat poison, we look at that as normal now. What Paul's saying, just like he did with 2-Second Lean and hating waste and being annoyed with waste and letting waste bug you, we need to let bad food, bad fuel, bad things they're stealing our cognitive ability, stealing our money, stealing our time, stealing our energy. We need to get annoyed with that. That is the key. That is the key to make sure that we're headed in a good direction with good food and the right fuel. So, 2 tips to reduce your caloric intake. Number 1, log everything that goes into your mouth with the MyFitnessPal app or some other app. This is crucial to success because you aim for exactly 2,400 calories each day. And when you start logging your food, you'll learn that you're eating way too much. To make matters worse, you'll probably log lower quantities than you would actually eat. So 2 tips, like I said, is to reduce your caloric intake. Try using smaller plates. Make sure you fit your food into a small plate, bag, or bowl. and you'll likely eat less. Second, try using chopsticks. If you're used to eating large forks and spoons, you'll realize that with chopsticks, it slows down your eating. And these two ideas result in you first eating a smaller amount of food and taking longer, which will make sure that your appetite reduces as you go. So I'm not going to give you everything, but I do want to quickly switch over to the exercise section. Every day he does easy 100 meaning it's an easy system to remember. It might not be easy at first, but 100 push-ups a day, 100 sit-ups, 100 trunk twists, and he walks a minimum of 10,000 steps each day. So if we have a Fitbit, or if we use the Apple Watch, or we have some kind of app that tracks our steps, tracks our miles, tracks our calories burned, tracks the amount of floors that we've hiked, and the active minutes we've been standing up or been active, then it would be easy to track our progress daily with 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, maybe a little bit of jogging, 100 trunk twists, and to walk a minimum of 10,000 steps each day. And he also talks about, instead of using the elevator, take the steps. Instead of using the escalator, why don't you take the steps or just walk the rest of the distance? Find ways for you to get that amount of energy, to get that exercise, to get that movement, and really take care of your body. And these are really nice implementable steps. And in fact, the main reason that I have an Apple Watch is because it will show me my movement, how often I've stood up, and my main portion of exercise, my 30 minutes of exercise every day, and my steps right there as I check the time. And it's been fantastic. These are lean, simple, implementable ways to do this. And like I said before, the key is to love good foods and to hate bad foods, and to fall in love with fresh vegetables, fruit, delicious foods, delicious seasonings, and to really make sure that you're treating your body like a Ferrari. So in here in the book, he covers supplements. He covers how to take care of our bodies by going to the doctor and making sure that we're getting our checkups. And he likens all of the 8 wastes to food and to our health. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. And so let me give you one: inventory. It's one of the 8 wastes that we learn to loathe and let bug us in the 2-Second Lean books. Here's how he does it here. Number 3, inventory. We keep too much food inventory in our refrigerators, cupboards, and storage systems. However, the worst form of inventory is the extra rolls of fat hanging off most of us. All this fat creates mountains of defects in our health. Number 4, defects. These include poor health, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, a shorter lifespan, inactivity, poor self-esteem, indigestion, gas, and many others. Another defect is the poor example we set for our families and others. He goes on to explain the rest of the 8 wastes, and the rest of the book is just absolutely remarkable. If you found anything that I've said in this short podcast to be of value, you are going to want to download his book and learn the rest of it. And again, why am I wanting to do this? Because in construction, with lean, with integration, with running remarkable projects, with training, with taking care of our workers, reading books and scaling, we have to get to a point where our minds are sharp. There have been a couple of times, and one of them happened recently to me after COVID-19, where I realized, man, I just get tired or I get bored. My mind wants to do something else when I'm researching and reading these books. What's wrong with me? I'm down to like a book every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or once a month, and my energy's low, and I just don't have a zest for life, and I don't have that energy. And I'm like, oh, I haven't been exercising. I'm not eating right. I'm not doing what I normally need to do. And like within 2 weeks of me getting back to my exercise, good eating, and my routine that I learned in Lean Health, I'm back. Like I'm reading a couple books a week or once a book a week. I'm implementing, I'm jamming, I'm driving. I've got enough sleep. I'm doing what I need to do. And I'm living a remarkable life. And that's really what this all comes down to. And so remember that your body is the vehicle that your mind is driving. Lean health is the simplest and most implementable way to be healthy in my mind, especially for construction professionals who don't have time for a lot of BS. You will be sharper. You will have more cognitive ability to go do what you need to do. Your mind will be clear. You will go from low energy to high energy. You will go from depressed to being able to be hopeful unless you have a clinical problem. And in fact, some people who go into the doctor for depression are told, before I prescribe you anything, I want you on an exercise regimen because a lot of this your body will fix. And that is true. If I've ever felt depressed, exercise, proper eating, lean health has pulled me out of it to brighter and more hopeful states of mind. And if you don't, you'll stagnate. Look at think of the times when you haven't been taking care of your body. The stagnation, the low energy, the feeling in your legs, the tiredness, the bags under your eyes, the inability to think, the lack of desire to study and research, the lack of energy at work. I mean, this is just, it's gross. It should bug us. We should want to get out of it and freak out when we're there and do something about it. If we don't fix it, we're going to stagnate. I mean, the current condition in our industry that I've mentioned before is we got superintendents at 36 having heart attacks. We have people not going to appointments, not even taking care of their teeth and I'll give you a little story. I was kind of brainwashed to work. First 10 years of my career, I never went to like a real cleaning for my dental appointment. When I finally went in, it was like having surgery. I had to be all numbed up, and the procedure took an hour and a half, and it hurt badly. And the dentist showed me some of the things that had been building up on my teeth. And I know you'll probably think less of me because I told you that story, but that's true. And then I had to schedule another appointment for the other side of my mouth. And I'm like, what have I been doing? Not taking care of my body, not taking care of my life. And so we have people that are not studying, not learning, not doing what they need to do to take their next level, not getting those promotions, not taking care of their families, not being fulfilled at work. We have people going to work with low energy. I've said that a couple times, but here's why it's important. I work with some superintendents that are just kind of like low energy. There's nothing excites them. They're not out there doing what they need to be doing. They're not excited about learning. And so I can introduce one or two concepts to them, but they don't have the energy to take it all the way. They don't have the energy to build a full quality process, to partake of the full scheduling process. They don't have the energy, or they're not taking the time to have the energy to implement a lean culture, to build good organizational and team health on their project, and to go do these things. So I look at this, I'm like, man, that's such a lost opportunity. Their low energy is hindering them from going to a D grade or a C grade all the way to an A+ on this project. And they could, because they're smart enough, they could do it, but they just have chosen to have low energy and they have little excitement. And I want to share with you that energy and excitement and enthusiasm are absolutely key to your success. You cannot come to work like Eeyore. If you do, you will fail. And I want to close this by just giving you a challenge. Download this book. You will love it. I know what it's like to feel like I'm in a rut. I feel for you. None of us want to be in that rut. If this applies to you, go download that book and take your health to the next level, which will take your mind to the next level, which will take your career to the next level, which will take workers and their families to the next level because of your leadership. Study it, implement it, win in life. So the vision for this is that you live a long life, that you're healthy, that you get back that 10 times from your body that you deserve, that you want, that you're able to be sharp, that you're able to win, and that you feel good enough to where every day is happy, hopeful, and remarkable. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you want to do an interview, if you want to give me feedback, please reach out to me at jason@elevateconstructionist.com or on LinkedIn or Facebook or any way. I am here to help. Please reach out. We want everyone to be successful. Until we meet again, let's ask yourself this question. What would you give tomorrow to be healthy and happy and sharp in mind and in body? And if the answer is that you would go download a book, then download that book and win. Until we meet again, I hope this has been helpful. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.